All right. What is going on, everyone? I hope we're having a great Thirsty Thursday out there. Yes, the SPY made new all-time highs yesterday. I'm sure most of you guys know that by now, but looking at the SPY today, it did gap down a little bit from that all-time high last night. Now, it opened up this morning around 673.50, traded a bit lower towards 672.60, and has just been chopping between there since. Now, at open here, we might see, some good bullish action. Hopefully we see a nice new all-time high come into play. I'd love to see a 675 push. Although I must say, though, looking at the way the market looks right now, a lot of times if we get like a gap down and we fill the gap, we might reject there, right? Where the gap fills or just at pre-market resistance. And right now it's right next to both of those. So a little tough resistance. But again, we're right at open. We could easily get some opening volatility here. One of my favorite stocks this morning, Tilray. Yes, Tilray of all things. Above $2, or well, straddling $2 right now. It was above $2. Tilray up 15% with good earnings today. That was nice to see. Let's look at Tilray's earnings here. Better than expected Q1 financial results. Boom. EPS was at 0. It beat a negative 0.02 estimate. Sales was at 209 million, beat 204 million estimates. Oh gosh. 200 million in sales. I'm not used to seeing numbers that low in the stock market. Still a lot, but Good morning, Varoom. Team Tom, let's go. Jason, Meatsack, Mr. Woo, Jose, Joe Papa, Adventure World, Steve. Adventure bought some puts on SPY yesterday. Let's see if it got lucky. Oh no! Our next opening move here went up. Not good for the puts, but good for the bulls. The all-time high is being tested at open here. Remember that all-time high was just touched last night. What's up, Jake and Iceman? Hope you're all having a great morning so far. Let's go check out Apple really quickly. A lot of crazy up and down action there as well. One that fell off this morning was Race. They had some very disappointing guidance here, which is Ferrari, if you didn't know. They did a new electric EV reveal, but they released their financial targets for both the current year and rest of the decade. Now, Ferrari has usually done pretty well in the past. If we go to like a daily chart, they've generally done pretty good over the years. But I gotta say, in recent months, and honestly in 2025 alone, it's been very shaky. Like they ran up to new highs, but then they've been up, down, up, down. This gap down here is crazy on Ferrari today. Down 12%. Do you guys like Ferrari? I'm sure a lot of people want one. Ferrari, why not, right? Who else wants a Tesla? Teslas are better than Ferraris. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, I'm kidding, guys. Can we invest in Rolls-Royce? What was their ticker? Let's see. RYCEY. Here it is. I knew we could. Oh. On the OTC market, Rolls-Royce been doing pretty good. They've been doing very good. All right. They're up over 100% in 2025. Or just about. Yeah, 120%. How's race? Let's go back to the intraday charts here. I'm not going to look at Ferrari for too long, but thought it was a funny stock for today. Hey, Steve owns them. Awesome. That's cool. Varun detailed a couple SF90s. Or you detailed SF90 a couple weeks ago. Cool looking car, but no thanks. I really like those, like 458 Italias or something like that. Of course, everyone likes an old F40, but I don't even think that the 458s are that quick. I don't know, I just like them, the way they look. Oh yeah, that's a 458 Spider. I gotta say, this one looks awfully good, guys. It's right here in St. Louis, too. This one's $1 million, wow. But settle for a Z06. Yeah, exactly. Interesting, though, to see Ferrari fall down so much. General Motors had been doing pretty well, but in recent weeks, they also fell off. Ford was also doing good. They had some major pullbacks this week. Seeing some of these start to fall off. The mileage is 5,685. 2019. I don't know if that's normal for a Ferrari or not. I know that they keep them really low, but that almost seems like a lot for something like that. I don't know. Or F50 GT. Wow. Why'd they hate him so much, Goose? That sounds crazy. QQQ pulling back here at open. SPY had that big green candle, touched the all-time high essentially, got very close anyways, and then now rejected right back. Nobody can pay the oil change, Goose said. I wonder how much it would cost on that one. Probably like 20 grand or something. IREN. A favorite lately. Popping off again. Wow. IREN. Up 7% and running here on the 1 minute candles. The past 3 minutes have resulted in almost all of the action out of this one. It has some momentum at the moment. Serve up there straddling with Tilray. At the top of my watch list. Going back and forth together. Serve Robotics had a big jump in pre-market. What was up with that? I don't think I saw this one. DoorDash is collaborating with them for U.S. autonomous deliveries. Okay. Delivery robots. I'd like to see these robots deliver out here where I live. All these windy country roads. It'd be interesting if I stayed somewhere and had that delivered, though. It'd be hilarious having that thing delivered on a robot. Look at Energy Fuels at open. Tangyman would be going crazy this morning. Wow. Energy Fuels up another solid 11%. Look at the daily chart there. Wow. How's SMR? Oklo. Man, it really seems like they're outperforming the other nuclear stocks today. How about the uranium ETF, URA? Pretty solid there. UEC, okay. I don't know if it's really 20,000 or not, Steve, but I think it's something up there like that. Especially by the time you pay the shipping for the car, too. I watch a lot of videos on those, but can't remember the specifics. There's this one really funny guy named Hoovy's Garage. I think his name is Hoovy's Garage. He's pretty funny. He has this mechanic who's like a supercar mechanic, and the mechanic tells him everything about it and how to do it. It's really funny. For like way cheap. They do it for like way cheaper, though. Here we go. PepsiCo. Bouncing a little bit. 138.50, 139 coming up. They reported earnings and no one cares. Yep. Especially because it looks like they didn't really do much. Let's go look at the report really quick. Just a quick glance at it. It says a part of them was impacted by immigration crackdowns. Wow. Where's the numbers? Here we go. Doesn't really show any EPS projections there. There we go. EPS 2.29 beats 2.26 estimate. Sales 23.9 billion versus 23.8 billion. Okay. Pretty much right around expectations there. Nothing crazy, of course. It is Pepsi. Nothing like Tilray. Up 14% on earnings. We'll definitely take that one. ABAT, let's go, Ryan said. American Battery Technology. Been on fire lately. Wow. Up another 4%. Continuing the run here, Ryan. I'll have to look at this one a bit more here the next few weeks. Wow. They did reverse split in the past, but they're coming back well today. Past couple weeks, they've been in nuts. Within the past month, essentially, this even just like the past few weeks, the stock's up 190%. If you're looking for volatility, keep your eyes on ABAT. I got shares at 2.25. Wow, that is very low. Tom, do you see BURU yesterday? Over 1 billion shares traded. No. Did not see that. Let me turn on the volume and check this. Wow, 1.14 billion. The day before, there was 1.11 billion, too. Dang. Quite a bit of volume. I haven't looked at some penny stocks like that in a while. I don't know if that's common now. Next time I see some penny stock craziness, I'm going to keep my eyes on that, though. QQQ is going to do a V-shaped recovery, Juan said. It seems like it's turning over pretty hard here. It could. We've seen it happen time and time again. Especially lately. Even if it ends up like this, it made that nice V-shaped recovery initially. I want to say to drop. I'm almost at my break even, Adventure World said. You want soy to drop. I'm guessing you meant SPY. It's moving down in a pretty solid way here. I would suspect that we test 672 or so before bouncing back. These couple of wicks right here are what had me really interested in 672. Soybeans, yeah. You can trade those. What's the ticker for those again? Is it ZB? No. ZS. Yeah, it's ZS. Ah. Six, seven. No, come on, Adventure. You got to be trading the soybeans. That'd be more interesting. SPY might be trying to bounce here a little bit. Looking at it intraday. Fell off a little bit here over the past few minutes. Is now red on the day, actually. 0.08% to the downside. Finding a little bit of support here, but nothing too crazy quite yet. I am watching closer towards 672 for support, but we'll see. It's been very choppy around this range, especially yesterday. Around the end of the day, SPY was all over the place within this range. Back and forth, using 673 as resistance. Have to see if that holds up again or not. Tony said GLD's flushing. Three, 6, 8. Boom. It's a big level of support. Yeah, big gap up there. GLD. That was yesterday, of course. Today they tried gapping up again, got crazy though. Touched the all-time high and is just slowed up. Silver ran up to a new high, but then again, at least a new recent high, but then fell back off. Let's go to silver on a weekly chart. Show you guys how high it got in the 2000s. Up to like that $48 an ounce point. That is insane. I almost said a coin. $48 a silver coin. That's funny. I'm so used to dealing with silver coins. That's funny. Sorry about that, guys. Got pop-ups coming up on some of these websites here. Israel says Gaza ceasefire is now in effect after hostage deal. I missed that piece of news today. Bloomberg put out an article that said, Victoria's Secret is desperate to learn how to sell bras again. What? It says their decade-long identity crisis has vexed at least 4 CEOs. The newest CEO thinks the solution is straightforward, getting back to selling the bras. Yes. Pretty funny. You know, VSCO is a popular company. I would turn it on, but SPY just turned over here, guys, towards 672. Watch out as support comes up. Watch for support. A lot of crazy wicks here over the SPY since open. A lot of red candles, of course, too. I'd say overwhelming selling pressure so far. As we fall a little deeper into the red. Nvidia's up 5.47. Doesn't seem like a hard sale. Good morning, Mike. Look at Nvidia ripping 3.16%. My gosh, 195. It's going to hit 200 a share again here soon. 5 points away. It'd be pretty wild for it to rise 6% and hit that $200 point, though. Amazon's taking it hard. Was there any data with their Prime sale, I wonder? I feel like this Prime sale went a little bit worse than the others. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I bought a few things. I don't go crazy. Do you guys buy anything on the Amazon Prime sale? Anything fun? Well, it doesn't have to be fun. Maybe useful as well. I feel like it wasn't as big as the one earlier in the year. There was 2 of them this year. Maybe there's always been 2, but I can't wait for Cyber Monday. Not just from Amazon, but from everyone else too. Jane said, or Jeanette said, nothing fun, only home repair stuff. Xavier got a lap desk. Seems like they just mark stuff up and then make it a sale. There is some real sales that go on. I promise. I promise. Because trust me, I eye up all these kids things. Like my daughter's, like car seats and stuff. Like there were some car seats that were like $250 that went on sale for like $180. And they were legitimately $250 before, but I know what you mean, though. It does feel like that with a lot of the stuff. What I noticed is that a lot of the cool stuff doesn't even go on sale. I guess it's kind of like, here, let's clean out our inventory. Is it really, Mason? That's kind of wild. Jake said the book map on NVIDIA at 200 must be huge. Let's check it real quick. There's 195, pretty big. How about 200? Oh, this was yesterday. Let me skip to now. Oh, yeah. 1.4 million shares at 200 on NVIDIA. There was almost a million at 195 that just touched. Xavier said, how'd 4,000 ounces of gold transfer over to the spot price? So the spot price is always a little bit different. Let me pull it up here. Here's a real chart of the gold spot price. $4,023. You're going to have to look at spot price on its own. It's a bit different. A lot of people really look at gold futures to look at the price of gold, but I know what you mean. Spot price is like what, I guess, melters probably use and, you know, different people like that, but I do got to say, though, gold futures is what a lot of people look at. GLD isn't necessarily looking at spot gold. Degenerate. Tilray's going off. Oh, yeah. TLRY. Boom. There we go again. 215 up 25% now on the day. Gosh, I'm just going to have to sit here and admire Tilray's price action for a minute. Wow. What is the volume at, Tilray? Goose said. Let's see. Volume. Go to the daily. It's at 77 million, which is quite high. It already has more volume today than it has on a lot of the recent days in September. We've been seeing a little bit of an uptick in volume with Tilray lately as it had some more volatility. I would assume today ends up being a pretty volume-filled day. Here it goes, though. Continues to run. 2.20 now, up 28%. That's a big jump by Tilray. Go check on CoreWeave. Up 0.37%. How about Snowflake? Pony. Snowflake not able to get past 252 today. Pony AI also failing to move. MP Materials to the upside. Gapped up today. Nowhere even near their support anymore. AMD still moving up, Jake says. It's consolidating really hard here. I feel like it's going to try to make another run. off of this support. Let's see it, AMD. Gonna bounce or hold it all? What's up? Good morning, the retro handheld man. I wonder how long it's gonna take mine to come in the mail. Probably forever. App loving Canal's watching. I can't show Gold Future Bookmap right now, Canal. I just don't have access to that one. I just have the stock data. CGC's popping too, Steve said. Let me actually... Yeah. CGC's popping too. 1.75 up 13%. Following along nicely. Wolf up 16%. I like that CGC daily chart. That is pretty. WOLF, Wolf Speed. What's WULF? TeraWolf? Yeah. TeraWolf. Wolf Speed. 14%. Pull back a little bit. Little double top action on WOLF here. Look at 3650. Almond's up 104% on TeraWolf. It's doing great today, 7% too. Are you up on shares of it? Because my gosh, I wouldn't be surprised. Wow. WULF. Look at all these support lines I have drawn around $3 to $4. Probably everyone looking to buy it up down there at the time. Man. Got in at 3. Wow. You really are crushing it, Amin, aren't you? You got in at 3. Wouldn't you be up way more than 100%? Yeah. Your average must be higher, right? Wow, yeah, that's like 300%. Yeah, Canal, I was looking at that earlier. Ferrari and race gapping down in a crazy way. We were actually looking at Ferraris. Look at this. I started looking up cool Ferraris that were for sale. I like this one that's by me. This one looks pretty, I must say. I like it. Nothing to really do with the stock, but their earnings were okay, but, or sorry, their guidance didn't seem that bad, but everyone was looking at the guidance here from them this morning. They also announced an electric car. So they dialed down their 2030 electrification targets. Disappointing guidance. It's scaling this back too. Let's see. So they slightly raised their outlook for 25. Okay. I mean, that sounds pretty good. So the longer term guidance is where things came soft. So they're looking at revenue of 9 billion euros, and they were expected to have 9.8 billion euros. Getting a little crazy there, I guess. Mason said, my buddy just got a 488 Spider. Thing's sweet. Hey, that's essentially what this is. Except, well, it's a piece. Pista or Pista? I think you say it. Pista. I can't remember how you say it, but I'll have to look that one up again. Do you go riding around in it? I think those ones are close to like 200 grand, Steve. From one I was looking earlier today. 195 resistance on NVIDIA. There we go. It's a big level on NVIDIA. Been in it one time, man. That'd be fun, though. That would be fun. Bought a few more at $7 to $8. Yeah, okay. So you did average in a little bit. I see. He goes, those things are quick. Reminds me of that one scene from like Mr. Deeds where he's like, damn, these things are fast. I'll have to show you guys that scene really quick here. Oh, here we go. Here it is. You guys will laugh at this one. This will be our funny video of the week here.
Can you believe Deeds bought us all these?
Damn, these things are fast.
I didn't know he crashed it. But that was the scene. It went too perfect with what he said. QQQ pullback there, 610, 609.80. Consolidating really hard here at the low of this morning. Getting a bit boring and choppy down here at the bottom end of the range, but it's providing an opportunity. Number one, it's providing a possible dip buy for some people who are more leaning to the bull side. On the other side of things, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there watching for it to break down following this zone of consolidation. Of course, it is providing some trading opportunities, though. If it starts to break down, you know, the bulls will probably cut. A lot of them might even shift to the downside, but in the event the support holds, they'll be nice and happy. Opposite said to the other side. MC says BTC's 122,000. I don't think so. Oh, it is. Oh, yeah, 122,000. I've been watching it run up lately. I guess I didn't realize it had gotten that high. I mean, I should have known that, I guess, but yeah, 122,000 sitting right there, essentially. If BTC's up, why is BMNR down? Well, BMNR is still an individual stock. It's not just like that it's tied to Bitcoin. Now, of course, there are things where the crypto market will affect BMNR. Okay, now BMNR, I've seen talk a lot. There's been a lot more talk with Ethereum with BMNR. That's what they are dealing with a lot more of. From what I've seen, They're trying to do like what Strategy did, I believe, with Bitcoin, but with Ethereum, essentially. Kind of like they're doing what MSTR did, except with Ethereum instead of Bitcoin. So they're not going to always move like that, following Bitcoin one-to-one. If you want to find a stock that will follow Bitcoin more directly, look at IBIT. IBIT will follow Bitcoin more directly. It's the iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF. It's pretty highly tied to Bitcoin. The movement is pretty spot on. ETH USD down on the day, down 3.67%. Yeah, pulling back a little bit. That would hurt BMNR if it fell down a lot. Ethereum has a lot of room to grow, Canal said. It definitely could. It needs to break this all-time high here it's been straddling. It'll probably try to make a push soon, based off of everything that we've been seeing, all the bullish action. Unless something starts to shift, but... If you're just now joining up, destroy that like button if you haven't done so yet. The likes do help us out here, of course. Do it for our funny crazy eyes video.
All right, all right, all right.
What is up with the 6-7 stuff, guys? I'm gonna have to look this up. I feel old again. Rerun says don't look it up. Alright. I'll stay naive to that one. It might be better for me to not know. Every time you'd say 667 on the SPY. You know what else? We could do a 67-minute chart, too. Oh, yeah. Each candle, 67 minutes. It's perfect. I like our ticker at the top. It says SPY 1.116667 hours. August said, just look it up. Look at the 5-minute chart here, 671.50. Is it from a lyric? Oh, that's so funny. I don't even know what's going on, Jeanette. That's so funny. All right, let's hit 30 likes today and we'll figure out what that means. Palantir, 182, rejecting down. Really failing to break through resistance here. This 182 level is critical this morning. Serve Robotics leading the watch list, 27%. But you know what? Tilray is still right behind it. Even though Tilray was well above for a minute, but... Serve is actually like right around its high of the day still, too. Still running. Your 7-year-old's always trying to get you to say it? Oh my gosh. My daughter's gonna do that to me soon. Start telling me to say weird things that she heard at school. I can't believe it's Leif Erikson Day. You guys. Ryan even posted it up in the off-topic channel. Joke of the day. Why doesn't 6 like 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Come on. Jeanette, that one's old. That's like the one that we learned in kindergarten, right? You know how they have dad jokes? I think I'm going to have to call that one a mom joke. Tesla really consolidating here. Wow, it got very choppy in this bottom range. How's Nvidia? Also very choppy, but at least it's up around the upper end of the price action today. Yeah, old but good, yep. Can't go wrong, right? Goose looked at Tilray all the time. Now it's the largest ever. It's doing really good today. I gotta give it that. It's well back up into its range. The lower end of the old range was around $1.50, so it's been well above there for a few days now. It actually just held the lower end of that range perfectly as support here recently. It was kind of beautiful, the way in which it hit. Now, it's always risky with earnings, though. You know, guys, just helping somebody out real quick. Doing the multitask. All right, there we go. I'm tempted to get into the Tilray craziness. I don't blame you. It is up 30% today, though. I'd be a little wary today. Maybe look at it more for tomorrow. Another continuation play, possibly. Jake says, there's software that can display like 20 charts at one time. If I want to follow that many. Yeah, you can do TradingView, but you'll have to pay. Look at Thinkorswim. See how I have my Thinkorswim Mag 7 set up here? I mean, here's 8 charts. You can easily do 20 or however much you want on Thinkorswim. It lets you do, I think in theory, damn near unlimited. Yeah, you can just customize the grid and just like literally keep adding more and more and more and more and more if you want. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to ruin my Mag 7 setup, but Thinkorswim will let you do it pretty easily. I've seen a lot of people do it. I believe Interactive Brokers would let you. TradeStation. Who else? I mean, there's big players that would let you, probably like Lightspeed and other people like that, but I'm not even mentioning those. That's like only applicable to like 1% of people in here. Lightspeed trading, you guys have heard of them, right? There's a few really good platforms like that. Yeah, I would definitely look at Thinkorswim. Does look like DraftKings has support, Jake said. Let's see, DKNG. DraftKings support coming up around 30. Yeah, 30. There is a support in the short term at 33 as well. So yeah, there is some support here. Yep, right around 33 and 30. I guess I'll plot the one at 33. I've been trying to plot them a little bit less so that we don't have as much crazy lines on the chart. Need to tell someone. The chicken sounds good. Hey, I could take some KFC right now. I could take that just about any time, Joe Papa. Well, not just Yeah, don't start us on the food already. Come on. Goose said, what do you think a strategy would be for Tilray? I was thinking either a long call or set an order for 187 for a potential pullback in the next few days. 187. I like that level. It's a pretty big area of support here. 190, you could even say as well. I feel like pulling back to there would be pretty rough. I personally am not a huge fan of a pullback to there. I think that would be a pretty large one if I was being honest. Tilray does get choppy on the way up a lot of the time. I would be worried if it pulled back to there that we would start to see a bigger turnover coming into play. Tilray, finally. Bought it when it was 1.74. Nice. It is doing pretty good for 1.74. Yeah, quite a bit. NASDAQ still straddling its low of the day. Wow, it actually broke it slightly while we were looking at Tilray. SPY has been slowly selling off, breaking under its recent low. Tilray, finally, I bought it when it was 1.74. I'm sure a lot of people are loving seeing this one finally get back. I bet that there's a lot of people who own Tilray is still at like $3 or something. It's been in a bad funk the past few years with Tilray. When that lower support range at 150 recently broke, that was brutal. Really glad to see it back above there, though, getting back alive. And they didn't have to go through any reverse splits either, which was nice. Although they probably got close here recently. How high do I see Tilray in the long term? These marijuana stocks are kind of wild. You know, it really depends on legislation. If things start to get legalized with Tilray and with the MJ stocks, I could see Tilray. And guys, you know, keep in mind, this is like, you know, we have to kind of pull out the crystal ball here. It's not like you're really... It's not like I'm looking at their valuation and coming up with like a crazy number based off that or anything. But I really like the $10 to $15 range. I could see it getting up into that range again if we start to see some positive reaction with passing bills and legislation getting passed on this. What are they doing to my Poet? Shake my head. POET, Poet Technologies. Look at that daily chart down 6.5% today. That's actually pretty rough. Glad Mike mentioned to get out of GLD when the tide turns. Yeah, you can't ever hold too long, Tony. Can't ever hold too long. It's good to always have that possibility in the back of your mind that things can and will turn over eventually. Now, does this mean that gold has hit its peak and it's truly peaked out yet? Maybe not, right? It might touch support and come back up, but nonetheless, it's never bad to take profits, especially in the short term with like scalping and different plays like that. WSB means Wall Street Bets, Steve. But yeah, you are better off not knowing what it means. That is pretty true. Yeah, it's on Reddit. Yeah, be careful going there. You'll find some funny posts, though, I'll say that. Canal says, why is golf coming down, by the way? Was something said in the bank conference? Golf? I have no idea there. Oh, GLD. I was like, golf. Okay. I don't think anything was mentioned too crazily at that meeting. Powell technically spoke where it says 8:30 on the chart here. And the SPY initially, GLD initially rose following that and then just dropped off at open. Realistically, there doesn't always have to be a crazy reason for everything. That's one thing that I think a lot of people need to really understand is that traders have this, they have something in their minds to where like an event has to always move the market, or, you know, if the market's moving, there has to be like an event or something that caused it in that way. Whereas that's not really the case a lot of the times. You know, a lot of the times there's just imbalances between buyers and sellers. Now, the events could play a role sometimes, but I see people trying to really tie events to moves a lot of the times whenever it's not really warranted, if that makes sense. Look at SPY dropping off there at open. Ooh. IRS does new federal income tax bracket for 2026. Let's see. The standard deduction increase. Single filers can claim 16,100. Announcement comes a day after the agency said it would furlough nearly half its workforce. I guess we'll have to see how the overall numbers look there once they get that done a little bit. Looking to see if CNBC or any of these big news sites are looking at gold's downtrend today, or looking at SPY falling and attributing anything to it, just to see. Hey, I think that this hurts gold. This definitely hurts gold a little bit today. If you're looking for some reason as of why it could be down a little bit, I would say this is one of the bigger ones in my eyes. Of course, this probably happened early in the morning or etc., but I mean, I know it's falling mainly at open, but could be playing a role. I can't believe that they still have hostages like that. "48 hostages left, only 20 alive, apparently." Oof. Brutal. Bought some DXYZ. Let's see. Destiny Tech 100. 1.8%. There we go. DXYZ 1.39%. You really slowed up today, didn't it? It was on fire at open. Look at that $20.20 overhead resistance. It's been consolidating under there for a while, but recently it got closer again. Got closer. Yeah, I know. I'm not trying to start an argument, Jeanette, I know. I'm sure both sides have a lot of BS. You guys don't want to know my view on that part. I just wish somehow it would end over there, but it's been going on forever. I doubt it'll ever come to fruition. TSLA bouncing around 429. 427.50. Nice support. Yeah. Yeah, I feel you, Jeanette, for sure. I just said that so hopefully other people don't start going nuts. That's all. $428. I like 427.50. 428 is a pretty good area of support here on Tessie. I gotta say, Tesla looks funky this morning. What's up with that weird opening candle today? It almost looks like a glitch print, but it's really, I don't even think it was. I think it was like a legit candle. Oh, maybe it was a glitch. I don't think I see it on Thinkorswim. Tesla pulling back, though, pretty hard here down to 428. A lot of red candles in the short term. If we go to the 1 minute, it's quite a few red candles there as support comes up. We might see it give out. It's starting to look nasty. Varoom says Nike still dropping. Let's fill that big old gap, baby. Nike still dropping. That is quite the drop there. Nike might try to fill the gap. It's got a big gap to fill on the daily. Yeah, I like it, Varoom. That is a big one. Down to like, I guess if we fill to the day of the gap, it would go down to like 62.70 to 63. But there is this upper end here around 63.70 to 64 where it hit. Either way, that would be a good drop from where it is now. Hopefully they drop down right into the holiday season and then they post some really good Christmas numbers and get a nice dip buy coming in. Yeah, let's fill the gap and then let's post up some good Christmas numbers. That's what I want to see. See you later, Ryan. Have a great one. Have a great one. Yeah, the holidays. You guys looking for anything big with the holiday shopping season coming up? You guys eyeing up any businesses for this you know, I guess at the end of this month, you know, we're getting towards that Thanksgiving, Black Friday season. Yeah, it's coming around. Any thoughts on AppLovin, APP? AppLovin falling down a little bit, down 5.3%. Look at that daily chart. I definitely lean more to the downside here with App. It does seem like it's starting to accelerate in this turnover a bit. And note that whenever AppLovin likes to turn over, they can turn over pretty harshly for a few days. It's not like it'll just go down for a few seconds or something. It's usually a pretty bad drop there. .5% to the downside. That is pretty bad. What has SPY down if NVIDIA's up? Let's look at the Mag 7. We might find our answer there. Tesla's down 2.3%. Google's down 1.4%. Apple's down 1.2%. If you add those three together, they already offset NVIDIA. Those three added up. Microsoft's in the red slightly too, so yeah, you add all four of those in, boom, 5 with Amazon in the red. Meta's green a little bit, but just break even, not really doing much. So yeah, the entire rest of the Mag 7's red. And we also have to keep in mind that NVIDIA was helping it go up this morning, but over the past 30 minutes or so, NVIDIA started selling off more, and Tesla sold off, and Apple sold off, so, and Amazon. So it all happened at the same time, which is a double whammy too. Nothing's offsetting each other in the short term there. Thoughts on SoFi for the rest of the year, Mike asked. SOFI. Let's see, for the whole rest of the year. Let's see that daily chart where it is now. SoFi has been very hot into the end of the year here. Or I guess we'll just say into Q4. Looking at SoFi, we're moving up quite a bit over the past couple days. Even just this week in general, SoFi has came up pretty well. I like this resistance around 30. It's a very critical area of resistance. The big money trader here on 826 got into SoFi 26 strike puts. Now, that was a while ago. Yeah, it was a while ago. I haven't checked to see if they're still in on that one, but SoFi has been doing well, but I gotta say, I'm a bit worried that we're gonna see a lower high post here. If we start to see a lower high post, we might see SoFi start to downtrend for a month or so. And if that does happen where SoFi downtrends, it doesn't mean that the end of the year is going to be terrible. But, you know, we might start to pop back up around the end of the year, right? You know, there's still a lot of time left. Even if there is like a month-long pullback or so, you know, there's still some time to come back as well. So it's tough to say, you know, it's really hard to give an outlook like that, but I lean more up than down, just given off of the entire trend here that's been happening lately. $96.70 on C. That is a big breakdown there. Wow. Citigroup really broke down through a good support from the past couple trading days. Look at them breaking down. That's a good drop on the daily chart. This move is starting to become accelerated. City down to buy, Canal said. I wouldn't be buying it right now. Not to the upside anyways, not going long. Possibly look at some put opportunities. I don't know if you're maybe looking at a dip buy opportunity intraday. I do think that could come into play and possibly play out at some point today, but I just don't love it with it falling. I'd rather try to chase more of a resistance touch than a dip buy. Or a support buy. CRML 25%, really? Critical Metals Corp. I've never heard of this one. 26%. Wow. I wonder if it's with that rare earth stuff going on. Oh yeah, MP Materials moving a little bit. I did see some rare earth news today. China moves to limit rare earth exports. Mining stocks are going up now. Yeah, MP Materials was up a little bit. Yeah. I've never heard of that one. CRML. Critical Metals Corp. Look at the way this one is recovered here. This is insane. Stock went from $1.50 back in June all the way up to $17 pretty much here. I guess more like $16.50, but damn, that is quite a run. SPY 670 support holding, Chris asked. 670 support. Ooh, it did just touch there. It's at a big range, even 669.50 to 670. This is a critical range on SPY. Yeah, this is a big level for SPY. Especially the past few trading days. We've seen a lot of hits in action there. It is reversing a little bit here. 670 starting to bounce back slightly. Back up to 671. We'll have to see if this sustains a real uptrend or not, but maybe a base will start to form. Michael had 8 green days in a row. They said it's about time I had a red day. They said, glad I sold Poet yesterday. Hey, nice. Sold it at a good time. You might kick yourself in a few weeks for it, but don't feel bad, you know. Very difficult to time the top. I think you did a great job. It's very boring, Michael. Lots of options selling. Got back into serve today. You're waiting to re-enter? Serve is up 22%. How'd you like that one? I hope you didn't enter this one too high, or hopefully it at least continues well, if you did. I missed the move. It was last night, Michael said. Gotcha. For serve. Yeah. That was a big one last night, or this morning. Green is green. Don't worry about what you could have made. Yeah, good point, Jack. It's better to secure what's in your pocket than lose it. Tesla's been coming back a little bit. It makes a new low of the day and immediately recovered right back to the upside. Gotta love it. Got to love it by Tessie. Bought the dip. Time for the rip, Jake said. Was that on Tesla or SPY? Watch SPY. It's loving this bottom range of support. That 670 area is critical on the SPY. I know we keep saying that, but it is a large range to keep on the radar here. Let's go back to the nuclear stocks. SMR had dipped quite well today. Could be a possible dip buy. Keep it on the radar for you scalpers out there. Nano nuclear, let's see. NNE. .4% to the upside now. Doing a lot better this morning, unfortunately. Slowed down a bit. Part of that nuclear sector, though. Figured I'd check on it. How about Oklo? Nice, coming up off the dip. Oklo looks pretty solid. It's been choppy this morning, but if it starts to put pressure on these highs and get through, it'll make for a great little trade there. There we go, SMR. Already getting it done. Michael's worried about learning a new market when things turn over. Yeah, and remember, you don't have to always go crazy if it's not your market. You could be patient and wait, possibly. Wait for it to turn back into your market, but you could wait for a long time sometimes. So you might have to, you might have to start adapting. But, of course, even if, this market turns over, there might be other sectors that do great. Like, whenever the market does bad, sometimes stocks like Kraft, like weird stocks like this, like supermarket type things, or Kroger, or, there can be weird parts of the market that end up doing actually well during those times. Oil, could be one. Maybe Zom, Oxy, all those. Mason. Happy Leif Erikson Day. I can't believe that that's really a thing here. Sorry, guys, helping someone out again really quickly. What's support for Kraft, Canal said. It's a good question. I haven't looked at Kraft too much lately because it hasn't been as consistent for us as it once was. Now, for a little while there, I was playing a pretty good support on Kraft time and time again. And, you know, I loved the way Kraft was bouncing around this like $32 to $33 range. For a while, me and Cornish had like a running joke to where every time it would touch like 30 to 33, we would buy. And it was funny, you know, it worked out really good, like, each time. But right now, support... Wow, it's actually right on a big support. There's a big support right around this $24.90 to $25 mark. It's actually touching one right now. But it had extended down to $20. That's like the recent low here. So don't be surprised if it runs down towards 20. This is a stock that Warren Buffett had owned a lot of. Unfortunately, though, it has not been the best for them. Yeah, it has not went the best, to say the least. They did a merger between Kraft and Heinz, and whenever that merger happened, you can see that their stock really took a hit over the next coming couple of years. Eye it up as it gets towards that lower end, though, around 20 to 25, like within this range. I mean, it's not a bad range of support if you're actually willing to dollar cost average in, if you believe in it. I guess it, you know, it just begs the question, like, is it worth going after this or a sector that could see more growth, like nuclear sector or, you know, AI or semiconductors or something. Let's go see UNH. Been looking at some of these healthcare stocks lately. Back up. Pfizer, UNH. Let's see, PFE, Pfizer pulling back in the short term. Okay. They had that nice rip a couple weeks ago with the Trump admin news, but things did turn over here. Might be a good dip buy opportunity in the next couple weeks for Pfizer. I like it. Okay. What else do we got? Pfizer. Moderna's another popular one. mRNA down, bouncing off of a lower support range. We'll have to see if it holds, but if it does, it might make for a good risk-reward ratio. Whereas you risk $3 to make like 6 or more. Really not bad from this point. Yeah, if they are holding race, they're going to be upset, Fisher. I'll tell you that. Looks like a good dip buy. You know, it could be. It is approaching a very large area of support. Race has been exploding lately. It's weird to see them starting to move like this, though. You know, they had a few years of really nice, consistent price action. Things are just getting a bit rough now, but I guess it happens throughout stock journeys. Nonetheless, they did just have some disappointing guidance, which wasn't the best. Thoughts on re-entering Stub and ERAS big money plays? Re-entering Stub? You sold out already, I guess? Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. It's probably a good thing you sold out if you sold yesterday. Let's see. Let's look at it on like a 15-minute. Here's the thing with StubHub. I can see it recovering up and eventually breaking this recent high up here, but it might take a few days. You know, I personally lean towards it consolidating a little bit, and then we ultimately go for a bigger run and rally. That's more of what I'm watching for with it. STUB, StubHub. ERAS. Let's go check that one now. Eris. ERAS is the ticker. This one was entered just a couple days ago. I think you're good to re-enter ERAS if you're looking at that. This one has a lot of time. It's also a debit spread, but... yeah, I don't blame you there, Jack. I think that's smart, not wanting to hold it too long. It is shorter term on that one. This one's the longer term one. Makes some sense. I appreciate everyone for joining up today. Thank you. If you have not liked the stream yet, hit it up. Thanks for being here as always. Looking at the top end of the watch list, Tilray up 28%. Still showing its strength today, I guess. It did slow down a little bit, but it's holding this 215 area of support very well. Very well here. Oh yeah, like it up for Leif Erikson Day. Yeah. Leif Erikson, make him proud. Like it up. Appreciate it, Huncho. Jack, so you know debit spreads are growing on me, although I don't copy them fully. It gives me a nice price target or close to it. Yeah, it helps, right? There's like usually a good range there. I feel you there, Jack. Don't always have to follow him perfectly, you know. How's NVIDIA here? Coming back alive. There we go. 195. Wow. That is solid on NVIDIA. Go check race one more time. Still falling down intraday on 13%. Wow. QQQ coming back with the SPY up to 610 resistance now, though. This is a critical area for the NASDAQ. You want to see race support? Okay. Ooh, Mason coming through with another joke. Why did the ghost go to the party? Because he was going to be a boolast. A boolast. Now that's a bad one, Mason. I gotta say, they failed you on that one. Support on Ferrari. Definitely around 400. I would say 390 to 400. That is a huge range of support. But alrighty, guys, we're probably going to call the stream there. Appreciate everybody for joining up, of course. Been a fun one today. I got to say, a lot of fun tickers out there. I like Tilray at open. That was my favorite here today. If I had to pick one, I'd say. Like Tilray bouncing around 215. Come chat it up in the Discord, though. If you guys are interested, join up. I'll be in the discussion channel in the SM chat. Portions of the trading floor. Of course, discussion's free. But yeah, join up. A lot of traders in there. Discuss certain plays, setups with, etc. Let's go. Thank you, Jack. And thanks, everyone. Let's have a great rest of your Thursday. I hope to see you on the nightly video tonight. Let's go. Gonna be a fun one. Tomorrow's the last trading day of the week, so make it count. Alrighty, talk to you guys later. See ya.